I'm originally from the Atlanta, Georgia area. I moved to Williamson in 2019 when I purchased a 98-year-old country store. I was excited to revive this beautiful country store that's in the Boston community, which is south of Leapers Fork. Voting to continue to give seniors tax reliefs is such an important initiative. I know a lot of seniors in some of the rural communities that are lower income or living off of Social Security just don't have the money. Having them pay full taxes is very hard, especially in an economy where inflation has gone out the roof. So being able to vote yes and getting that tax relief established again for our seniors was really important. And in that, I also found out that a lot of our lower income residents in my district were committing petty crimes so that they could get medical care paid for in jail. So I actually met with the sheriff to discuss what can we do, and then met with our director of health services and said we really need to better market our benefits of our health services clinics so that we can help residents get services they need at costs that's more amenable to their income. I love people and I love trying to find solutions to help people, and my district is a really big mix. It's not just the wealthy in Williamson. It's a mixture of very low income to very, very wealthy. And it's just important to meet the needs of everyone. In District 1, it really is unfettered growth. People are very frustrated with the growth. I have areas of Spring Hill and Thompson Station, which we all know the growth that's happening and the traffic issues. They're having water and septic issues, as well as Fairview is starting to grow at that rate. So I'm blessed and also challenged to have three of the growth cities in my district. So really trying to find solutions. How can I, from a county commission standpoint, help some of the citizens with those issues? Cities are going to grow. It's inevitable. Growth is inevitable, especially where we're living. How can we balance the growth with being smart in how does it impact the city? Really looking at an impact analysis and looking at cost. Is it a cost benefit? What's the cost benefit analysis of that growth? Is the cost of that growth going to benefit the city? How can we be smarter about looking at those issues and asking the cities to have developers put some skin in the game and not just build homes, make their money and leave? What does that look like? What are some smart things we can do to prevent just overgrowth? And I think it's been more of a focus on growth and not at really putting a plan together of how do we reduce the negative impact of growth. People in rural areas want the pasture land. They want to enjoy the peace and quiet. I bought in unincorporated specifically for that reason. It's such a complicated topic that it's something that's really meant to have an individual conversation about. I've met with my citizens at the community centers to discuss this because it is pretty complicated. Those of us county commissioners who are in the unincorporated areas really need a better seat at the table on balancing the urban growth plans and protecting citizens who don't want to be included in the urban growth plan and definitely don't want to be annexed. In this last vote we had on the tax increase, I voted no across the board. It really wasn't necessary. What we need to do better as a complete commission is better managing taxpayer funds and not spending on things that are not essential. Our 1.2 billion in debt, that is weighs heavily on my mind every time I vote. Well, my background in human resources, I think, set me up for success. In that in human resources, you have to consider the policies you make. How do they impact your employee base? How do they impact your business? Well, it's no different in government. The resolutions you pass, the money you spend, how does it affect your employees, your constituents? And I'm very data driven. I look at data, I read through the resolutions to fully understand the decision I'm making and how it will impact my constituents and the employees. We've come a long way. We've done a lot of good work in the last 3.5 years, but we have so much more to do. That's why I'm running for reelection. I want to continue to work hard for employees of Williamson as well as my taxpayers that count on me to spend their money very conservatively. I think it is ensuring that elections are fair and accurate and represent the people's vote. I have moved here in 2019. I moved from Georgia, and there was a lot of issues with voter integrity. And that is something near and dear to my heart. So I will never give up on making sure elections are free and fair and not being influenced outside of the actual voter, what the voter wants. That is so important to me that we really guard election integrity. What I want people to know who don't know me as a commissioner is I am every day fighting for your rights for you as a taxpayer. I look at every resolution and the money we spend very seriously and to make sure that I am making the best decision for you. And I am always open to feedback. I've had constituents call me and say, why did you vote this way? What does this mean? And I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm always looking how I can be better at my job as a county commissioner. And it very much matters to me. I ride through my community and I stop in on neighbors and just visit so I can understand what they think about various issues like the sale of the hospital or the purchase of property to build another county building. It matters. And I want people to understand what we're up against and really get their feedback. Feedback matters, and I want them involved.